Aloha guys, Lamek here, your paranormal guy, and aloha to all my paranormal people out there. Um, I've recently, like I said before, been getting into a lot of other paranormal, paraphernalia, other than just my very own personal experiences with ghosts and stuff like that. Like I said before, I will always make sure you be the first one to know, just in case I have another one. Like I said, they're very sporadic, so I don't have any type of ghostly experiences every single day. There are stories what people do, and then there's some that don't. But right now, I'm going to talk about another story in the book. This story is about a man named Corwin Osborn. That's Corwin, Corwin, Osborn, like Ozzy Osborn. Okay. He went missing on June 17th, 2001 at Devil's Lake Trailhead, in the Three Sisters Wilderness area in Oregon. And I said that's another key clue to all of these disappearances. Almost every single place or body of water men turn up dead in or disappear in or vanish in always has the name Devil in the name of the area they disappeared in, like Devil's Gulch or Devil's Bowl, and this one Devil's Lake. So it makes you wonder, how the heck did these areas get these kind of names? There must have been something going on way back when, in those days, whatever that was. I don't know. It could be devil worship, anything, or it could be just because so many people have vanished in these areas. They think that the work of the devil is the reason why these people disappear like that. But anyway, I don't know. I've never been there, and I don't intend to go there. I don't want to end up going. So okay. To start with, now Corwin was at the age of 45 when he disappeared. So this is I'm jumping ahead again. I'm getting into the grown-up stories. Like I said, he was 45 years old, and at that age, he was in pretty excellent shape. Especially when he left his Bellevue home, in Washington, for a hiking excursion. He was going into the Three Sisters Wilderness, 30 miles west of a place called the Bend. A place called the Bend now, I guess. West of Bend. I don't know what that means, but anyway, he entered the wilderness from the Devil's Lake Trailhead on the morning of June 17th, 2001. He was last seen at around 7 a.m. by, it was approximately 1 hour into his hike. He was seen by another fellow hiker in that area. He was heading towards the South Sister. And I'm guessing the South Sister might be some kind of a mountain range, and they call it that. I don't know. I'd have to check that out. But based on what he had purchased previously, before he went on his hike, he just had a 1-day supply of food and water. So obviously he wasn't going to be gone that long. He was just, like I said, hiking for the day. Now, at that time, he was scheduled to meet his father at a place called Lava Camp Trailhead on Highway 242 in that area around 9 p.m. on June 17th. So like I said, on the same day. But he never arrived and was never seen again. Now, an extensive air and ground search in a 150 square mile area failed to uncover any clues regarding his disappearance. Now, Corwin is listed as a missing person in the state of Oregon's law enforcement database, so that's good. At least that way, David Paulides can get a file on this guy, which is obviously what he did. But there was not too much information to give towards his disappearance because of the fact that, like I said, when most of these people disappear, they just vanish. So there's never any evidence as to how or why or who made them disappear. So all you can really get is what happened to that person before he left and the information that you gather to as far as where he was headed. So if a person knows how people hike in the areas, they can kind of determine what they were doing to get to from point to point. Okay, so obviously, like I said, he was hiking, so that means he was hiking to that area. So that's all they can really say. He was hiking to such and such a place, and somewhere between when he left the last place where he was seen, he vanished, and there was never any sign of him after that. So it's like he basically just walked into oblivion. I'm pretty sure they dammed the lake, they combed the area, and nothing was found. No footprints, no clothing fragments, nothing, anything. I mean, I'm pretty sure there was some footprints that led into the area, but I would think that you could monitor his footprints. If you say he's walking into the area and he's going to set up camp somewhere, obviously he might not have even had a chance to set up camp. He was probably walking into the area or hiking into the area, and somewhere between when he got into that particular part of the wilderness, he just vanished. He walked into some sort of, invisible doorway that couldn't be seen by the naked eye, and he just, like I said, walked into oblivion, or walked into another dimension that probably looked exactly like the one he was already in, but there was no people there. That makes me wonder about a lot of things dealing with these portals and these distorted walls of energy that cover a vast amount of the areas in these parks. It's like I said last night about how a man was walking on a trail in the woods, and he came up to this area in front of him where it looked like a distorted mirror. You could actually see the trees, but they looked all bent, like as if, time and space itself was bending the trees, because just like when you look into a mirror and you see, it's like one of those distorted mirrors that you find at a fun house where everything is all bent up and they start to twirl and stuff like that. That's kind of like what it looks. That's what it looked like to him. So he slowly walked towards this thing and stuck his foot in that area, and his foot disappeared. Now, had he walked through that, there's no telling what could have happened. I mean, from what he saw, it looked like the area that he was actually walking to, but it was being covered by some sort of wall of energy that distorted time and space in front of him, and for his foot to actually disappear in this thing and him not being able to see it, that kind of scared him, I guess, because there's no telling of what's on the other side of this wall of whatever, because being the fact that it was like looking at a metallic bubble, where you could see a reflection of the area around you, but you couldn't see your reflection, but your foot still goes through something that could blot out the physical look of your own body. It's weird. So but that's, like I said, that story was short but informative. It was an earlier story from 1978. So he's got plenty more stories in 5 other books that has every story you can ever think of dealing with someone disappearing. So like I said, each video that I put up is going to be thorough, and it's going to give you the facts, not an explanation, but facts dealing in the disappearance of all these people and children. So I can only be as truthful and honest as David Paulides has been. He's been an avid researcher in all of these cases, and he goes to the tooth and nail to get the information that he can get, as long as the National Park Services aren't interfering with him trying to get the information that he needs. Now, in these urban areas that he tries to find the information, he files the Freedom of Information Act and he gets the information. As long as it ain't got nothing, like I said, as long as it don't have anything to do with the National Park Service, he won't have any problems, because they, for some reason, don't want to give up this information, not even to the family members. Now, if you are a national park and had someone who is a child disappear in your park, and that child's family is looking for them, and you are withholding information dealing with the disappearance of your own child, that would make me go crazy. I would be ready to tear that whole park apart, and I would make sure that it gets shut down. I would do everything within my power to make sure nobody was losing their park ever again. Now, at the same time, there are people that love to go into the park, but you have to be mindful of your surroundings. You have to realize that it's not as safe as it may seem to you just because you like the wilderness and just because you like to camp and fish and hike and all the other stuff and jog on trails and stuff. You know, there have been cases where people have ran into some type of feeling that they get, of pure evil, and they just had to get away from it. But it was so intense and so massive that it almost engulfed their entire being, just fear alone. So fear, I would imagine, has some type of form. I guess that's a good way to describe it. But like I said, fear having a type of form to where you can feel it, but you can't see it. Fear can't be seen. It can only be manifested by your own conscious mind. Fear is not a person. It's not a being or an entity. But obviously, whatever this thing is, it promotes fear. It uses fear in humans to take them. Okay, and the fear is so intense that you literally feel the fear. You feel the evil coming from this fear. I never thought in a million years that something like that can actually make you run. Now, they also have people who, for some reason, take off their clothes, and they haven't been gone long enough for them to say that they died from hypothermia or exposure. Now, exposure is one thing, but hypothermia, it doesn't set in that fast. So for you to take your clothes off. Now, there was one story about a young guy. He was a football player. He was on his river. He was on his boat in the water trying to get away from somebody who he said was following him. He said, "I'm gonna start removing my clothes now." And she was like, "What?" That's what his girlfriend was saying. She was like, "Why are you removing your clothes?" And then the phone went dead. And they found him somewhere on the shoreline dead. With no known evidence to state how he died. Now, they said he suffered from some sort of like heart problem. I don't know, but there has never been any evidence to state that he had heart problems in the past. That was the thing. That's what the evidence said in the reports. So, but yeah, it's just a very strange thing going on here. I don't know what it is. It's some sort of evil entity. I don't know what you could call it, but all I know is that it can't be seen by the naked eye. You can just feel it, and then when it gets you, it's like you can't get away. There's nothing you can do. And once it has you, that's it. You either gonna disappear or you're gonna be brought back as a lifeless corpse with no sign of death on your body at all. But yet you have drugs in your system, or even an alcohol level that isn't feasible for a person to be even driving, yet you didn't drink. Weird. So, but that's all I have for right now. I will still be giving you more information on all of these cases as I get more deeper into the book. And whatever stories I can bring to you guys, I will definitely do that. So like and subscribe down at the bottom, and send me some comments. Maybe you have a theory of why these people are disappearing. If you've read some of his books, hit me up. Send me a like, send me a comment on what you may feel is going on here, and step outside the realm of natural thinking. Don't just say, "Oh, he was kidnapped," or "a bear may have gotten him." There's something a little bit more deeper going on here. Why these people are disappearing. They don't just vanish, without a trace. Humans can't make people do that. They leave too much evidence. That's just what we're wired to do, is leave evidence. And we're gonna make noise when we grab somebody. That's just how it works. That's how it is with humans. But thing is not human. It may think like a human. That's why I say it knows how to get around our way of thinking. It can trick you. And you will never be able to figure out how and why it doesn't. So that's what I'm saying. It knows how the mind of the human thinks, and that's bad. you can outsmart a human like that, So, but anyway, I gotta go. I only got so much time left. They want to give me 15 minutes with these videos. So, aloha, mahalo, and uiho, which means till we meet again. Peace.